students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a good week so far, staying healthy, staying strong, and productive. Hi, Jai Neil. Welcome, members. This is a members chat class. Everybody's welcome to watch. We are focusing on the IELTS reading section, and I will give you explanations on how to get Band 9, and we will practice for that. Hi, Hassan. As usual, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com for help with the academic IELTS as well as for statement of purpose and academic CVs. Please visit us there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On those websites, we have loads and loads of information and materials and strategies to help you pass the IELTS exam. This is the academic website here with the blue background. If you have questions, we often have chat and support available. You can click the big red button to join the premium package. And this is the general version of the website with the green background, and you can click that big red button to join us there. Of course, we have apps that support our website, so you can use our content on mobile from the same account. So you can download and link the app Academic IELTS Help to aehelp.com and General IELTS Help to gieltshelp.com, and we're always adding newer and newer content, so keep checking back and looking at the different parts, the videos, the exams, and the interactive course. If you have questions about the IELTS exam or about our products, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Hi, Nick Hill, Abhishek, Sammy, Bekjan, Ferdavs, Ois, Amrita. Nice to see everyone in the class. So right now reading, and then in the next class we will do a cue card speaking part 2 where everybody will be able to join the chat. Let's get into today's reading passage. Here it is. This is section 3 taken from one of our general IELTS exams. Section 3 of the general IELTS is very, very similar to the 3 reading passages of the academic IELTS. So Section 1 and Section 2 in the general IELTS reading are quite different, but Section 3 is very, very similar. All right. So first step is first always when you get to a reading passage, read the title. So here we go. The Rise and Fall of Lance Armstrong. All right. So as soon as you read the title, you have to think about it. Just like when you go to a bookstore to find a new book that you're going to enjoy, your first step is usually reading the titles and trying to figure out what it's about, and then maybe reading the summary on the back of the book. So here, the same idea. We read the title, The Rise and Fall of Lance Armstrong, and then of course the IELTS is often really trying to be helpful by giving you a picture to go with the title, because of course a picture is worth 1,000 words. So here you have this nice picture. It's a colorful picture. In the paper-based exam, it would probably be a black and white. They usually don't print color. In the computer-based exam, you might see it in color. All right. Abhishek says this is probably a success story of Lance Armstrong, motivational passage. Right, Abhishek, what kind of success? Okay. So Janil says achievements. Okay, the rise. So this could be achievements, right? So what kind of an achievement? What do you think by looking at this picture? So Abhishek says cycling. Yeah, we see his cycling helmet there. So it's bicycling. And Oa says he's a hero in cycling. Bekjan says cycling. Yeah. And look at his hands. What is he doing with his hands? You've probably seen athletes do this before. So you can maybe even get some more information here when you really pay attention to those details. He's showing something with his hands. What do you think that is? If you had to guess, What do you think he's indicating with his hands? Yeah, Ferdov says he won 6 times. Okay? Yeah, you have the hand showing here. You see football players and other players do this as well when they win their 3rd or 4th championship. They'll do a big 3 like that. So he's got 6 of them, so maybe 6 wins. All right. That's something. Okay. Now, let's be really careful here with the title. So we have the achievements, the rise, because rise, of course, is increasing. But we also have fall here. Okay? What do you think that means? So let's see how much information we can really suck out of this title. So Jainil says the fall might mean something like a loss, maybe the first loss, disease, decline. Okay. Yeah, those are all good ideas, Jainil. Failure in life. Okay. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Inaja says maybe some kind of injury, fluctuations in his achievements. Yeah, those are all some great ideas. All right, fantastic. So don't rush through the picture and the title. Definitely try to get as much information as you can, especially when you have a picture like this. Okay, and I think that you've done a great job here, and this will really help you in comprehending this passage. Okay, so the next step is, let's take a quick peek at the questions. Okay, so here we go. It's no more than 2 words and or a number from the text for each answer. So you want to give your answers from the text. And here, this is called a short answer. Okay, so 2 words and or a number. All right. Write your answers in boxes 28 to 32 on your sheet. So these will definitely help you with understanding the passage. So you should read these. Now, notice how all of these are questions. So what should you do when you read these questions? Hassan says, I think from the picture and the title, we can probably answer a question or two. Maybe, Hassan, but don't rush into it. So Nick Hill says, well, maybe make the questions into statements. Yeah, absolutely. So paraphrase these into statements. Okay, so I'm going to read this one. In which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? Can you paraphrase that and make it into a statement? Okay. Ferdovs, don't search for the answers because scanning won't really help you here. You might have to skim the whole passage just to get the first one if it's near the end of the passage. So you want to just understand what the question is asking here. Okay, so we want to change it to a sentence. So can you do that for me? Change this into a sentence. In which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? And you might want to paraphrase. So paraphrase the questions into statements. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so can you do that for me? Can you paraphrase it into a statement? I'll do it for the next one. In which month and year was Armstrong first diagnosed with cancer? So Armstrong was diagnosed with cancer in month of year. Okay, so that's how I would paraphrase this second one, number 29. Armstrong was diagnosed with cancer in October of 1995, something like that. All right. Okay, so Bekjan says Armstrong took part in the Olympic Games in the city. So Armstrong, instead of participate, took part. Yeah, it's very good. So Armstrong took part in the Olympics in and then city. Yeah, so that's what you're looking for. That's what you're thinking about. Yeah, Nick Hill, very good. Same idea. Armstrong took part in Olympic Games and the city was. Okay, very good. That's what you're doing. Okay, do this one for me, members. What fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize? Try that one. So paraphrase it and make it into a statement. So what fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize? I'm going to do this next one for us. So who was the first person to accuse Armstrong of cheating? Okay. Name was the first to claim that Armstrong had cheated. Okay, so name of person was the first to claim that Armstrong had cheated. Who was the first person to accuse Armstrong of cheating? So that would be my paraphrase there. Okay, Ferdov's good try, but I don't think it's correct. Okay, so Ferdov says he made popular an accessory in fashion. It's not he made popular, it's what fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize. So the what is the object, so you have to somehow change that into the part of the statement. Okay. So Abhishek says, Armstrong familiarized in style the accessory is. Grammatically, Abhishek, that is flawed. It's incorrect grammar. It's awkward. Okay. Nick Hill says the item, brackets, fashion accessory, that Armstrong made famous was. Very good, Nick Hill. That's a good one. Okay. So the item that Armstrong made famous was. Very good. So instead of popularize, the word famous. Yeah, when you popularize an item, you make it famous. Exactly. Okay, so Nick Hill, that is good paraphrasing, changing the question into a statement. Okay. Hassan, you're paraphrasing, but you're keeping the question form. Lose the question form. We're changing it into a statement here. Okay? All right. How many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? At the moment, Armstrong currently, or Armstrong, I don't need currently because I said at the moment. So at the moment, Armstrong holds number of Tour de France titles or championships. So at the moment, comma, because it's a time expression, Armstrong holds this number of Tour de France titles. How many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? Okay, so we've now taken all of these questions and we've changed them into statements, and we've paraphrased some parts, like instead of participate, we wrote took part. Okay, all right? Instead of popularize, we used famous. Is this clear, members? Is that good? Everybody's clear on this now? So these are for short answers. You're going to find the answers by thinking about them in this way. When you're practicing at home, you want to do this with pen and paper. You want to write them just like this in the space above the question. Okay? All right? It's great practice. You're going to improve, and it's great training for your mind as well to think this way, to be able to transfer questions into statements. And of course, vice versa. It's good practice to make questions out of statements as well. All right, Jainil says, thumbs up. Abhishek, Hassan, Nikhil says yes. All right, fantastic. Okay, so we have a better idea now of what's going on. Of course, during the official IELTS, you don't have time to write all this down. So all you need to do is just do this paraphrasing and changing questions into statements in your mind. Okay, so in your mind. Ois, if the vocabulary is challenging, just keep it the same, but change it to a statement instead of a question. Okay, you want to do this quickly, especially in the real test. Okay, so simplify. All right. If you're having trouble paraphrasing some vocabulary, just keep the same vocabulary, but still change it into a statement. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Here we have to match the correct ending. This is a popular type of question with the start of the sentence. Now we have 4 sentence fragments, which are missing the second half. And then here we have our choices. We have 6 choices. That means 2 of these are wrong. So we're going to ignore the choices because we don't know which ones are correct, which ones are wrong. We don't want to confuse ourselves. So just like with any multiple choice question, we don't look at choices that can be false. Okay. Abhishek is asking, can we answer simultaneously while reading the passage in this type of question? No. And you'll see why, Abhishek. You can, but it can get confusing. So Abhishek, remember what I said before. The only question that you should stop, actually, I'll ask you instead of telling you. What is the only question that you should stop to answer while you're reading the passage? There's only one type of question that you should stop and answer while reading the passage. All of the other ones you should answer afterwards. List of heading, that's right. No, Abhishek, even I know you're asking about the before one, so I know you're asking about this one. And no, you shouldn't. There's a good example, actually. If it says, how many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? If you answer question 32 while reading, you'd probably get that one wrong, Abhishek. You'll see why. Okay, because it looks like the correct answer is somewhere in the beginning or the middle, but the correct answer is actually at the end, and you don't discover that until you read the last part of the passage. So the only one that you answer while reading is list of headings. Okay, that's the only one that makes sense. It's the only one that doesn't distract you from the information in the passage. Okay, so you have to be careful. All right. So with these questions, we read just the first part here, okay? Number 33, Armstrong maintained his innocence for. Armstrong defended his actions by, though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now. 36, Armstrong, like everyone, is. All right. And then here we have a multiple choice question here. So write the correct letter A to J in your boxes 37 to 40. So here we have 37, 38, 39, 40. We have 4 questions. The order doesn't matter for these. And it says, the writer mentions a number of Lance Armstrong's accomplishments. Which 4 of the following accomplishments are mentioned by the author? So this is a question. Now, it's 4, and we have 10 choices. So that means 6 of these are wrong. It would be a really bad idea and a waste of time to read these, okay? Because there's 6 incorrect options from the 10. Only 4 are correct. So what we do with this is the same as with the first question set. We just take this and change it into a statement, paraphrase it nice and fast. Okay, so the author states these 4 as Lance Armstrong's achievements. Okay, so that's all. The author states these 4 as Lance Armstrong's achievements, and then we'll watch for those 4, or we'll try to mentally catalog those achievements, create some visualization and some pictures. Okay, cool. So I think we're ready to read. Is everybody ready to go? Ready to read with me? Yeah? Read together aloud? Yes? Everybody's good to go? Nikhil says, yeah. Abhishek says, let's roll. All right, let's do that. Let's roll. Okay, so here we go. We're going to read nice and fluently, visualizing along the way. Here we go. Read with me. I'm going to grab a sip of water here and wet the whistle. All right. Let's do this. So Lance Armstrong is known for many things: cycling, philanthropy, surviving cancer, but unfortunately his most significant legacy may be his cheating. A 7-time winner of cycling's most prized race, the Tour de France, Armstrong's fall from celebrated athlete and inspirational human being to disgraced cheater is an unfortunate example of the pluses and minuses of the human spirit. Okay, this is the introduction. It tells me Lance Armstrong has won 7 Tour de France titles. He's done a lot of other amazing feats, survived cancer. However, he's also very well known for his cheating. Okay, I visualize this. I'm holding on to it. Here we get some background. As usually when we read about a human being, we read about their origins and where they come from. Born in Texas in 1971, Lance Armstrong began cycling competitively at 13 years old. Originally a triathlete, Armstrong quit swimming and running in favor of his best discipline, cycling. Considered a favorite to win the road race at the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. So Abhishek, remember you said, should I just stop and answer questions? Remember one of the questions was, in which city did Lance Armstrong participate in the Olympics? Here, I remember Barcelona. Okay, I don't need to stop and put that into the answer key because I'm able to hold on to that in my mind. So I'm able to hold on to Barcelona and I can hold on to where it's coming from. So I'm not going to stop because I want to keep fluency in my reading. And I know that I can answer that later anyway. It's not going to take me any less or more time. Does that make sense? Right? When you see the answer, you see it anyway, and you know it's there. So you'll be able to answer it just as fast. Okay? All right? Okay. He instead finished a disappointing 14th. Soon after, he began to race professionally, and it was very soon after, in 1993, that he won his first major cycling event, the World Road Race Championships in Norway. It is unclear whether he won it cleanly or whether he was cheating even then. Road race in Norway in 1993. Okay. In 1996, Armstrong's life changed. In October of that year, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer, which has spread throughout his body, even to his brain. He was 50-50 at best to survive. Bucking the odds, Armstrong survived and made it known publicly that he would race again. While the doubters were many, Armstrong privately persevered. Less than 3 years after the diagnosis, Armstrong won the Tour de France. He was immediately lionized and treated as a hero. He became an icon, an inspiration for those struggling with cancer. Because he was an example of how a person could not only overcome cancer, but thrive after doing so. Okay, so here maybe some of you are imagining that you are Lance Armstrong, you're this cyclist, you win the road race in Norway, then you survive this terrible illness, and then you come back to win the Tour de France. Armstrong started the Live Strong Foundation in 1997 in order to improve the lives of cancer survivors and those affected by cancer. After his cycling victories, the foundation found much success, eliciting tens of millions of dollars in donations and entering a little yellow bracelet into the public consciousness. Over 80 million yellow bracelets were sold, with proceeds going directly to the foundation. The yellow bracelet became a symbol of cancer support and survival, and no matter what Armstrong's negative deeds, the money he helped to raise has done untold good in the cancer community. Armstrong would go on to win 6 more Tour de France competitions, giving him an unprecedented 7 consecutive victories. Having retired from cycling in 2005, he focused his efforts on his foundation and his family. It would not be long, however, before the storm clouds began to approach. As early as 2001, there were whispers that not all was right with Armstrong's seemingly inhuman abilities. But it was not until 2010 when Armstrong's former teammate, Floyd Landis, a Tour de France champion himself and admitted cheater, accused Armstrong of cheating. The charges were investigated, and eventually more voices came forward in support of Landis's accusation. Armstrong continued to deny the allegations. In August 2012, he was stripped of all his Tour de France titles due to overwhelming evidence that he had participated in a vast blood doping conspiracy. He was a cheater. Armstrong maintained his innocence for several more months until finally admitting that he had, in fact, cheated. He cited his ruthless desire to win as the main reason for taking illegal performance-enhancing drugs. Lance Armstrong's legacy is muddy. Once an inspiration and a hero to many, he is now merely another cheater who would go to any length to win. But his philanthropic success cannot be taken away from him, and it would be unfair to dismiss all of his accomplishments because of his mistakes. Armstrong is a flawed person who was trying to do his best. Like all of us, he is human. Okay, so that's the story of Lance Armstrong, the rise and the fall of Lance Armstrong. Hopefully you kept it all in mind. Now, let's see how well we can do. And when we understand the passage, you will notice, and this is going back, Abhishek, to what you said, that we don't need to answer these questions while we read because we have a mental catalog. So we can answer these quite fast, you'll see. Okay? Otis says, his story is quite similar to Terry Fox's. Yes, Otis, but there are some big differences, right? Terry Fox did not survive cancer. Lance Armstrong did survive cancer. Terry Fox was not a cheater. Lance Armstrong was a cheater, right? So there are some big differences, but definitely also some similarities as well. Okay, here we go. They're both inspirational people, for sure. Okay, here we go. So number 28, in which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? And I think most of us will get this because I even stopped there. Yeah. So Ferdov says Barcelona. Now make sure you don't misspell it or accidentally use a small b. If you have to, just check the text. You remember where it is. It's right here. Barcelona. Okay? Don't get that wrong. That would be just silly. Okay. So Barcelona. All right. Number 29. In which month and year was Armstrong first diagnosed with cancer? Well, I remember it was in 1996, but I don't remember the month. Maybe August? Abhishek says October. I know where it is in the text, so it's going to be really quick for me to find it. It was right at the beginning. So here, in 1996, Armstrong's life changed. In October of that year, he was diagnosed with cancer. So 1996, October. Okay. Now, remember too that the easiest way to do this without making spelling mistakes is just simply write Oct 1996. That is the easiest way. You'll get that correct. Okay. You don't need to write out all of October. You can save a little bit of time and trouble with the spelling. Okay. What fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize? This should have been very visual. It got repeated several times, so you should be able to figure this out. Amrita says it was a yellow bracelet. Yeah, and the color is very important here as well. It's 2 words and or a number, right? So you need to be specific. So it's yellow bracelet. Okay, and again, if you're not sure about the spelling, just go back and check the text. Okay, and yeah, Nick Hill, you can write it all capital letter, okay, as well. Sure. Okay, who was the first person to accuse Armstrong of cheating? Again, this was fairly clear. I remember clearly it was one of his teammates, so it's quite a shock, right? It was like, oh, it's his teammate. Abhishek, did you write it down? Floyd Landis? I can't remember the exact spelling of the name, but I remember it was somewhere near the middle. Okay. Or coming near the end. There it is, Floyd Landis. Names are usually easy to look for because you're looking for these capital letters, okay? And as long as you have an idea, you'll be fine. So Floyd Landis, okay, good. So see what I mean, Abhishek, that if you read the text and you have a fairly clear understanding, you don't really need to answer these while you read because it's very fast to... Okay. And how many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? This one will be easy now that we've read the full text. Okay. Jainil says 0. Abhishek says 0. Right, Abhishek? That's why we have to read the full text because 0 is correct. 0 it is. Yeah. Yeah, Bekjan, I see that you quickly changed it to 0. Yeah, you have to be very careful with this. It's currently. Okay. He had 7 titles before he was found cheating. And then, of course, after they discovered that he was cheating, they took all those titles and basically said, nope. Okay. Because not just after the allegations, Abhishek, but after he admitted. I mean, he said, I was cheating. That's proof, unfortunately. That's not just an allegation. So at that point, they took all of his titles. And, of course, they gave the title. I'm not sure if any of you followed this news in 2012, but they gave the titles to the next place, the second place winners. So everybody got kind of reassigned their standings. So 0. Okay, so that's why you have to read the text. Okay, all right. Because it would be easy to put 7 in here if you're just looking for the answer. Okay, let's keep going here. So this one, the way you do it is just like multiple choice. You want to finish the answer on your own and then find the best match. Okay, all right. So number 33, Armstrong maintained his innocence for... I remember this because I had a very visual picture here of like, I'm innocent. No, I didn't cheat, guys. So how long did Armstrong maintain his innocence for is, I think, the question that comes to mind here. Yeah, so Bekjan says several months. Yeah, I remember that in the text. So for a few months after found cheating, he was like, but I didn't do it. Okay, and then finally he admitted. So let's see if there is something here that matches. So eliciting tens of millions, a hero for those battle not perfect, unclear he was a cheater a long time, though he eventually admitted his guilt, claiming he had an innate desire to win. So which one do you think is the best answer here. E, yeah, I would say several months. It's a long time. It is a long time to keep saying that, I didn't do it, and then finally breaking and admitting the truth. So here you would put E. Okay. All right. Armstrong defended his actions by, yeah, I remember this too. I think it was a very strong and interesting message here from Armstrong. So how would you finish this sentence? So Armstrong defended his actions by saying, I have kind of my own way. I want to see, hi, Pubs Do, nice of you to join in. Hassan, by saying he's human, I don't think so. No, I don't think it was that. It wasn't him saying, I'm just human. It wasn't quite that. I remember seeing myself do something a little bit different visually. So I cheated because I don't know if anybody else saw this or felt like they were doing this when they were like, you're a cheater. Okay, I did. But no, it's not because I was sick. It didn't have anything to do with sickness. It's incredible, but that's not actually the most powerful driving. Yeah, Inaja, very good. Yeah, Bekjan, very, very good. His desire to win. Yeah, Inaja says his desire to win. Yeah, he really wanted to win, right? He's like, I did it because I really wanted to win. I was hungry for glory, for victory. That's why people cheat. That's the number one reason. They want to win. It's not even about the money. It's not even about the fame, but they want to be number one. People have a very powerful drive to be number one, and that's why they cheat. Okay? So by saying that he really wanted to win. So eliciting tens of millions of dollars, a hero for those battling cancer, not perfect and has made mistakes, unclear since he was a cheater, but he did it for good, a long time, claiming he had an innate desire to win. Yeah, F. Claiming that he really wanted to win. He's like, I gotta win, I gotta win, I gotta win. Saying that he's gotta win. Okay, number 35. Though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now what? So he is once a hero. What is his legacy now? And again, I can finish this sentence. I remember, just a sec, I saw that the camera fell asleep there. So, yeah, I remember here that the author was very clear on this as well. The author was like, yeah, he was once a hero, but now we remember him by what? Yeah, by being a cheater. That's right, Begjan. He's notorious for cheating, so he's famous for cheating. Not his donations, Hassan, mostly for his cheating. So yeah, we do remember that he donated, but that his legacy now is that he's a cheater, that he is a cheater, right? Okay, and so eliciting tens of millions of dollars in donations, a hero for those battling cancer, not perfect, and he has made mistakes, unclear since he was a cheater, but he did a lot of good. A long time, though he admitted eventually his guilt. Which is the best match here for number 35? Okay, so though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now, yeah, D, unclear since he was a cheater, but he did a lot of good. Right? Okay, so that's the best match for sure. Okay, all right, let's go to the last one. Armstrong, like everyone, is, and I can finish this, I think, with just one word. What's the one word that you would finish that with? Armstrong, like everyone, is what? It's human, yeah. That's the word I would choose. So, eliciting tens of millions of dollars, a hero for those battling cancer, not perfect and has made mistakes, unclear since he was a cheater. Okay, which one is human? Yeah, C, not perfect and has made mistakes. Yeah, because that is human, right? To be human is to make mistakes and to live with those mistakes. So that's part of our being, absolutely. Okay, it's one of the most important parts of being human is it's okay to make mistakes. We want to learn from them. We want to improve by them, and we want to accept them and move on in life, right? So that's what makes us a great human. Okay, so making mistakes is human. All right, so those are the answers. Good. Now we have one last question type coming up, and that one is here. Which four of the following accomplishments are mentioned by the author? So before we pick these, let's see which ones you remember. So list for me 4 accomplishments of Lance Armstrong. What are 4 of his accomplishments that you can remember? And then I bet when we have those in mind, we can find them, because it's really hard. There's 10 choices, right? So rather than just kind of trying to search those 10 choices, I think it's better to actually think of his accomplishments. So what are his accomplishments? Okay, Championships Norway, yeah. Norway road race, right? That was the Norway road race. Okay, so championship of the Norway road race. Okay, that was 1, yeah. Abhishek says France titles, okay, 7 Tour de France. Yeah, I mean, still his accomplishment, even though they took it away after. So 7 Tour de France titles, yeah. Janil, right? 7 titles in Tour de France. Sure. Ferdov says defeated cancer, yeah. That's definitely an accomplishment. Okay. And I saw Ois say donations. Yeah, gathered millions of dollars. In donations. Okay, so I think those are some good ideas. Yeah, absolutely. Created the foundation, right, Beck-John? So created a foundation that gathered millions of dollars in donations for cancer research and aid. Okay, good. All right. Let's see if we can find those 4. So he won the Norwegian cycling championship. Maybe. Norway road race, I think, because this is NCC, right? So that wasn't really it. He won 4 a time 6 Tour de France titles. I think he had 7, right? So that seems wrong. Okay, so these ones seem wrong to me. He became an inspiration for those trying to overcome cancer. Yeah, that looks good, because he himself beat cancer. His foundation earned tens of millions of dollars in donations. That looks good. He was stripped of all his cycling titles for cheating. That's not an achievement, obviously. Okay. He began cycling competitively at 13 years old. I don't know if that's an achievement. He won the World Road Race Championships. Okay, that I remember was the Norway Road Race Championship. So that looks good. Okay. His legacy is muddy. That does not seem right. He won many races, including the 1992 Olympic road race. That does not look good. He won 4 a time 7 Tour de France titles. That looks good. Okay. So for me, C, D, G, and J look correct. Does everybody agree with me that those ones, it's a bit tricky, but those are correct, okay? So you have to be careful. This is the last question of section 3. It's going to be challenging, okay? All right, and those are the answers, C, D, G, and J. All right, so in your answer sheet for 37, 38, 39, 40, it doesn't matter the order that you put them in. You just have to have the correct letters. Okay? And you'll get them right. All right, fantastic. So that is some strategy for these types of questions, and that is the story of Lance Armstrong, quite an incredible human being. It's unfortunate that he cheated, nevertheless an amazing athlete, and I think that he is still a very respectable human being for the positives that he achieved in life. So it's important for us to remember the good and forgive the bad. So forgive the bad. All right. That is Lance Armstrong and section 3 from test number 5 of our general IELTS. I hope you found that lesson valuable, everyone, and for all of our viewers to get access to our materials and lots and lots of videos and strategies for academic IELTS. Check us out at aehelp.com. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Coming up in about 30 minutes, I will host another class that will be speaking part 2, a cue card, a new cue card for everyone. You're very welcome, Abhishek. You're welcome, Hassan. Amrita, Nikhil, Ferdavs. Thank you for your participation. You've all done a great job today. I hope to see you in half an hour. I'm Adrian signing out for now from Budapest. Bye.